Most people working surplus funds leads hit a wall the moment their skip tracing pulls up an obituary instead of a phone number. They see that the owner is deceased, they assume it means probate court, attorneys, and months of waiting with no guarantee of a check at the end. So they close the tab and move on to the next lead. Honestly, that's the biggest mistake ever, because those leads that everyone else is abandoning the moment they find out the owner is gone are some of the easiest and most profitable cases I've ever closed. Today, I'm going to show you my exact workflow for turning those dead leads into $10,000 plus commissions without setting foot inside a probate court to do it. Let's get into it. First things first, you need to build your roadmap before you make a single call. The number one mistake people make with deceased leads is picking up the phone before they even know who they're calling. So don't call a family without a roadmap. And the fastest way to build that roadmap is the obituary. Here's the thing about obituaries. Every single one of them has a survivors section. That section lists the spouse, the children, sometimes the grandchildren, and in most cases, it even tells you what city each of those people lives in. That right there is your table of heirship, written out in plain English, published online, completely free, and available in minutes. All you have to do is go to Google, type in the deceased owner's name, and add the word obituary. Funeral home websites, legacy.com, and local newspaper archives, one of those will come up almost every single time. You open it, you scroll to the survivors section, and sift through the records to know exactly who the money belongs to and roughly where they are. If you want to find the best skip tracing tools and how I use them, watch the video mentioned in the top right corner. But for a complete understanding of this whole process, I suggest you enroll in my one-on-one training course by clicking the link in the description. Now, once you have those names, you don't have to do the manual tracking yourself. There are AI-powered skip tracing tools built specifically for this kind of work. Platforms like skiptracing.ai and Tracerify let you take the names and cities you pulled from the obituary and cross-reference them against billions of public records to pull current cell phone numbers and email addresses in under 2 minutes. That's your edge. And most of your competition doesn't even know these tools exist. So before you make a single call, you should know who the heirs are, where they live, and how to reach them. But before you contact anyone, you need to understand something called succession. Because succession is what tells you where the money is going to flow. And the direction of that money is determined by two questions. Question one, was there a will or a trust in place? This is always the first thing I ask, because a will or trust is a legal document that directly states who gets what. If there's a will that says the 3 children each get a third of everything, then that's exactly what happens. And that's exactly who you're going to be working with. Question 2. Were the parents married or divorced at the time of passing? This one matters more than people realize. You see, if the parents were still married when the father passed away, then in most states with no will or trust in place, the mother automatically gets everything. The children get nothing, not because they're excluded, but because in the eyes of the state, a married couple is a single unit. The assets of one spouse flow to the other automatically. But if the case is otherwise, whether by divorce or by both spouses passing, that single unit no longer exists. Now the assets have to go somewhere else, and without a will telling them where, the state steps in and uses what's called an intestate succession order. Just a fancy way of saying the state has its own priority list. Typically, it goes spouse first, then children, then siblings or parents, depending on the state. So, when you're looking at a deceased lead, you need to know, are we dealing with a surviving spouse who gets everything automatically? Or are we dealing with children who need to file a claim? Those are two completely different conversations and two completely different processes. Ask both questions first, every time. After figuring out who would actually be eligible to claim the fund, you make sure that the case can be solved without probate. This is the part of the video that most people in this business have no idea about. When there's no will or trust in place and assets need to be passed down to children, most people assume the answer is probate. And if you've done any research on probate, you know it's slow, it's expensive, it requires attorneys, and it takes at least 6 months just to get the process started in most cases. But here's what they don't know. Most states have a dollar threshold. If the overage falls under that threshold, the heirs can skip probate entirely and file something called an affidavit for collection of personal property instead. It's essentially a 2-page document that the heirs sign, get notarized, and submit to the county. No court, attorney, or long wait is required. Let me show you what those thresholds look like with some real numbers I've personally compiled. In California, the threshold is $208,850. Anything under that, with no will, the children file a simple affidavit and skip probate completely. Texas and Florida both sit at $75,000 with the same concept. In other states like Nevada, the threshold is $25,000. Just for transparency, these thresholds were researched at the time of recording this video. They may change as the counties see fit. For updated resources and tools training, enroll in my course by following the link in the description. Every state has its own threshold, and every time you enter a new state, the first thing you want to find out is, what is the maximum dollar amount that allows the heirs to avoid probate? Because if the overage falls under that number, you've got a clean, fast case on your hands. So let's say you're working a case in Texas. The overage is $70,000. There's no will or trust in place. The father passed away, the mother is gone too, and there are two children. Those two children can fill out a 2-page affidavit, get it notarized, and with a little bit of court work, you can have this case closed in weeks. Now, I did say that these cases can be the easiest to process, but take that with a grain of salt. You see, not every deceased lead is a good case to take on. If the overage exceeds the state's threshold and there's no will or trust in place, then yes, it does go through probate, and probate is a completely different beast. You're looking at attorneys, court dates, a process that takes at a minimum 6 months to even get started, and a whole lot of moving parts that are completely outside of your control. My personal rule is simple. I don't take on probate cases unless the amount involved is substantial, like $100,000 or more, because your time is worth the money. A $5,000 overage that requires a probate attorney, 6 months of back and forth, and a court appearance will simply waste your time. So, filter your cases. If the overage is under the threshold, move fast. If it's over the threshold and there's no will, check the dollar amount. If it's not substantial enough to justify the process, move on. There will always be another case. Your job is to find the ones where the path is clear and the payout is worth it. But knowing the framework is one thing. Having the actual tools in your hand is another. Inside my personalized course, I give you my exact state-by-state threshold list, the affidavit of heirship templates I personally use to bypass probate, and the scripts for exactly how to talk to these families when you call them. Because reaching an heir is a sensitive conversation, and how you handle it in the first 30 seconds determines whether they trust you or hang up. If you're serious about building this business the right way, the enrollment link is in the description below. Drop any questions in the comments, and I'll get back to you personally. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.